we have a leader who's in the school system. We actually have a few, but one of them, she is so amazing at going to bat for girls and like trying to help them navigate the school system. She went to camp with us, and she is bold and not afraid to ask questions. But there was an analogy that the speaker used about we're all in a boat and Jesus is calling us out into the water. He said, are you like 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Are you all in the boat or are you all in the water? And she said,
hi, and welcome to the podcast, The Ordinary Brave. Today we're going to be talking about an incredible ministry in our town called YoungLives. And YoungLives is kind of a branch off of another ministry called YoungLife. And in YoungLives, it is a way for people in our community to minister to teen moms that are walking through a journey that they never expected. And it's a way for them to be mentored and a way for them to be given hope and to feel seen and to feel loved. And today we have the director of that ministry with us, Kerri Apple. So welcome, Kerri. Thanks for being here and being a part of the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I first came to learn about this ministry because one of my dear friends, Julie Groves, serves in it. And over the years, she obviously shares prayer requests and things that we can be, praying for YoungLives. And they also sometimes meet at our church, and we're happy to host and support y'all in that way. But why don't you, before we get started talking about the ministry, tell us just a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in Cookeville all your life? A little bit about your family.
I'm Kerri Apple. I've been married to my husband, Jeff, for 25 years. I moved to Cookeville in 92, so basically a long time. I was 15. So I moved here in high school. Mm-hmm. We have 3 boys, Eli, Kate, and Carter. And we have a medical equipment business, and I work for YoungLife.
That's awesome. So for people who don't know about YoungLife, can you explain any more about that ministry and maybe how it came to be here and part of YoungLife?
Or YoungLives?
Sorry, YoungLives.
Sorry. YoungLives, it is a branch, like you said, of YoungLife, and we started here in 2015. And it started, Leslie Hennigan, if you know Leslie, had prayed for years and years for something to help girls who were pregnant in high school. And I think her groundwork of prayer led to where we are today. And she also is a leader with us. She prayed, I think, probably 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. And then in 2015, my oldest son was taking some classes at the high school, and I dropped him off. And the first day he was like really scared because he was in 8th grade. And he said, what do I do? And I said, well, I'll walk you to the door, and then you can go do your thing. And I said, I'm not going to walk you in every day, but you can do this. Mm-hmm. So I walked in, and 2 girls were walking by who were pregnant. And I thought, we got to do something to help. Who's helping them? Mm-hmm. And I think when I was a young mom, when I had first kids, you're 25. And I thought, and I would try to do something. And I thought, well, if a teenager can do it, surely I can figure this out. Mm-hmm. And I've learned teenagers probably just aren't doing it because nobody's taught them how to do things. But I saw these 2 girls walking, and I thought, we got to do something to help them. Who's helping them? So I called our directors at the time, Drew and Molly, and said, hey, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm telling you all do something, but can we make this happen? So, and YoungLife is a non-denominational ministry for all adolescents. Mm-hmm. Really, middle school, high school, kids with disabilities, and parenting and pregnant, moms and dads.
So did YoungLife, like corporately, when I think about it being a ministry that's all
worldwide,
over yes. Did they already kind of have this branch going, and then you all just started it here in Putnam County?
Yeah, it started in the late 90s in California.
Okay.
And when it started, then it kind of branched off. I think now there's 240 of us who work for YoungLives. Mm-hmm. But so it's growing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's such a need. And, until Julie actually shared with me about the ministry, I just think, sometimes I'm guilty of this a lot. I live in my world and my bubble. And if I didn't pass somebody like that, on the sidewalk and thought, oh, wow, there's a need here in our community. I just wasn't aware until Julie started sharing all of these needs with me. And I'm sorry if I'm not quoting the statistic right, because I just recently went to one of y'all's fundraisers and y'all shared some things on screens, and I just thought it was great information. But I think that I read that in our county and surrounding counties that you all serve, was it 282?
That's how many teen parents,
Yes.
teen births happen a
births.
year.
Okay.
And then we're in Putnam, Overton, White counties right now. And in those counties, it's about, I want to say, like, we've got 75-ish teen births a year.
Wow.
In those 3 counties.
Yeah.
No, not all 75 come to stuff we do, but we try.
Well, that's a larger number, I think, than people realize right here, locally. And these young ladies, and y'all minister to the dads too that are willing to be a part of it. And I mean, they need support, and I know they need to feel seen and feel loved, as we've mentioned before. So, what are ways that this ministry actually gets in? Like, how do
we do it?
Yes.
Well, we go to the high school every other Fridays, usually. Different high schools are different days, but Cookeville is every other Friday. And we do like parenting tips. I wouldn't say a parenting class, because I think to teach, you got to be real good at something. And I don't know that I'm real good at it yet, but I'm trying to be. But I think we do parenting tips. So basically, if you're pregnant, your baby's going to get all of the nutrients from you. Are you feeding yourself? Are you going to be able to, are you sustaining yourself? Because a Pepsi and Doritos doesn't really sustain you when your baby's going to take everything. So we talk about nutrients. We talk about how much your baby sleeps. We talk about how to get government assistance to help with little like food and WIC, and help get on insurance. Those things. That's what we do in the schools. And then outside of school, we invite them to come to what we call club. And that sounds like it's a private event. It's not. Everybody's welcome. But club is where we get together. We eat dinner, and we do meet at your church. Thank you for letting us use it. It's great.
I'm glad to.
We eat dinner, we play games, and we always end the night talking about Jesus. We tell them something. We usually work through like the gospel throughout a year. So we talk about who Jesus is, why he came to earth for us. We talk about our sin and how we can't fix it, and why Jesus can fix that for us. And we talk about the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ, and then appropriation of what we can do to live a life with God.
Sure. And I know y'all do some fun things, like Julie shared with me over the years, at something like pajama parties and big Christmas parties. And I think y'all have even done photo shoots with the moms and their kids. And I just love all of that, church and following Jesus, and I know this isn't church, but it's a parachurch type ministry, is just not always sitting there and listening, to Bible study. We do fun things too. We have fellowship. Yeah.
We have a good time. We do pajama parties. We do lots of fun things. Like this next time we meet on Monday, a week from today, and we'll do a Easter party. We'll do probably, I haven't decided if we're going to do an Easter egg hunt for teenagers or for kids, but we might do a little bit of both. And then we do a big thing every year. We go to camp in the summer times, which is the best. It's like a party with a purpose for a whole week. And it's a lot of fun. So we load up in a bus and take teenage girls and their babies, and we all stay in a cabin, and it sounds like mass chaos, and it is, but somehow it works, and it's a beautiful mess. It's a lot of fun.
And at camp, what do these girls get to do?
Well, we do zip lining, and there's a thing called an ogo ball that you roll down a mountain in like a hamster ball.
I've always wanted to try that.
So fun. It's my favorite thing we do. There's a lake with a slide. There's a go-kart track, so we ride go-karts. There's funny people, and we have like team games and lots of fun. But every day we have a thing called club, where we sit down and a speaker is talking about Jesus. And through the playing, through the fun, through the silly, it tears down walls so that when they're ready to hear about Jesus, they can hear about Jesus. And then after a club, we go back every time and do a thing called cabin time, where we talk about in depth, how does this apply to our lives? How does this affect? And sometimes it's like listening to paint dry and nobody will say a word. And then sometimes it's the most beautiful thing. So,
Well, I imagine that these young ladies and young men have to grow up quickly, but I feel like camp gives them an opportunity to still be a teenager. And I love that you all provide those opportunities for them. So for the general public, and, as I've mentioned that I was just unaware of this need, what are some misconceptions out there maybe about teen moms or, just...
I would say a teen parent is somebody probably who just got caught doing what a lot of kids are doing. And it's not like something they plan to do. But I would say that probably a misconception is that they're just girls living wild. And I would say that they're probably the bravest kids I know because they've taken something that mostly adults do. And they're still being a kid and they're going to school and they're trying to work and they're trying to graduate, but they're also parenting. And I would say another misconception is that they're probably not great parents. They're really good parents. They love their babies. They do love their kids very well. And so I would say that that's another probably big misconception.
Yeah. So you mentioned them going to school. How do you all come alongside of them and helping them finish school?
Well, we talk about goals a lot. We talk about what goals that not that we can set a goal for somebody, but if they want to do, like a lot of girls say, I want to be a nurse or I want to do dental hygienist or different things. You have to have a high school diploma to do those things. And so we tell them, like, these are steps to do it. And we encourage them to help. We have a leader who's in the school system. We actually have a few, but one of them, she is so amazing at going to bat for girls and like trying to help them navigate the school system and how to get their diploma.
So I'm sure every young lady's story is different. But what kind of family support do a lot of these, or is it just totally different for each one?
I would say it's different for everyone. Some of them come from huge families. Some come from, they're the only child and they got caught. Some come from parents who are all willing to jump in and help. And some come from, oh, you got pregnant, now you have to move out. And so that's really hard for a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a driver's license. She can't really get a real job yet at 15. And now I've got a baby and I've got to find out how to live.
So are y'all giving them additional resources? I know you said you're really kind of giving them parenting advice or tips and then trying to connect them with, just resources that are out there to help in life in general. Are there other resources that you guys are pointing them to, or?
Well, the Stevens Center, like your care center, we send a lot of people there, which is a great ministry. We try to help find places that they can rent. Affordable housing's not real affordable these days.
Yeah.
But we do try to help find some affordable housing. We try to help. I don't say that I give away diapers often, but we do. But I probably wouldn't tell the whole world, hey, I'm giving diapers away. But to girls who like show up and help. And we also point them to Thrive at the CPC, which is a great program.
Yeah.
So.
And I know that you guys over the years have just been available to help drive girls to appointments and various things that come up for them. And you're really just a support,
It's
friend.
just, yeah.
Yeah. Which is something that they really need. So what about moms? I mean, we've sort of touched on this a little bit, but if they're just feeling shame, just over their decisions, how do you guys walk through that with them?
Well, a lot of different ways. I try to always point back to the Bible because it's truth, and I try to teach them what's true and what's not true. we talk about the woman at the well a whole lot, because the woman at the well lived in a life of shame. Like, she went to the well at the hottest time of the day so she didn't have to see the other women. And that's where Jesus met her. And so we say often, like, hold your head up. Like, you're doing the hard things. Jesus sees where you're at. We see you. And just doing hard things is not, I mean, you can do hard things. And the woman at the well is where Jesus met her. And he saw her in her shame and said, hey, I want to give you life. And so we try to introduce them to Jesus at every moment. And did that answer your question?
Yeah, you did. No, it was great, because that's really the truth of it. Jesus loves us no matter where we are, in our lives, whether we're at a really low point or we're at a high point. He'll meet us where we are. And sometimes I feel like it's very easy, believer or not, to walk through and think, nobody's going to love me, nobody's going to care about me because of this decision. But one thing we can always count on is that the Lord does love us deeply. And then I just love that you all come alongside and say, and here's some people,
who love you too.
Yeah, who love you too and will support you. And can you share a story? I know you probably can't say names or anything, but maybe one of your favorite stories or experiences in the ministry.
I've got a bunch.
Well, you can share.
I'll tell two.
Yeah.
One girl, she's still a dear friend of mine, but the first time I met her, she like kept her head down all the time, and she just acted ashamed all the time. And I said, hey, I want you to look at me. And she said, but I'm just so embarrassed. And I said, so what? You got caught. Who hasn't gotten caught at something? Yours just is a little more public. I said, I'm going to be here. Like, hold your head up. And so it is, now she's married with more kids, and it is a beautiful thing to watch her, like, live her life loved, and she knows she's worthy of who God has made her. And it's it's a fun thing to watch her go from, like, somebody who was afraid to look at people in the eye to now. And another girl, last summer, she went to camp with us. And she is bold and not afraid to ask questions. But there was an analogy that the speaker used about we're all in a boat, and Jesus is calling us out into the water. And he said, are you 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Are you all in the boat, or are you all in the water? And she said, in cabin time later, she said, I'm just going to tell you something. You all, and she was talking about the leaders. She said, you have something that I think I want. And so I said, well, what are you? Actually, I think Julie might have said, well, where are you? Are you all in or all out? And she said, oh, I'm all in. And I said, wait, are you all in the boat or all in the water? And she said, oh, I'm all in with Jesus. I want to do this. And she really does try every day. And I think all of us, none of us walk with Jesus in a perfect world. Right. It's a daily walk, and it's fun to watch her, like, go from not following Jesus to following Jesus and trying to raise a family that way.
Yeah. So how long do you guys invest in the lives of these people? Like, do they age out at some point?
They age out. Young Lives is for girls who are 11 to 21. And then we do a program called Rise, which is 21 to 24. And so Young Lives, the young part, is more of an outreach. Let's introduce you to Jesus. And then the girls who are following Jesus, who want to lead other people, would come to Rise, and it's more discipleship.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I've not heard about the Rise part.
So it's fun.
Yeah, and I love that they still can continue on with you, because I know after you turn 18 or graduate, life is still going on.
Life is still
hard.
Yeah. Like, the whole frontal lobe not developing till you're 25 is very true for all of us.
Yes. So how can people in the community, like myself, before I started hearing Julie's stories about Young Lives, how can people get involved in this ministry or support this ministry?
We always need people praying for us, for girls, for, everybody. It's a lot of emotional things. I would say we always need extra leaders. We need extra people to help at clubs, like set up dinners and
Childcare.
childcare. We need a lot of help with childcare because this year we've had probably anywhere from 20 to 27 babies
Wow.
at our clubs, which is fun, but it's a lot. That means we need lots of hands on deck to make sure all the kids are cared for well. And we do background check childcare and make sure everybody's fine.
Yes, yes. And what about like financially? I know I've been to a fundraiser. You did the Bunko for babies, which is a blast and a lot of fun. Are there other fundraisers throughout the year, or can people just give in general?
People can give in general. It's ucyounglife.com/giving. And there's a drop down that says Young Lives in that. Yeah, it takes lots of money to help girls. It takes lots of money to help get people to camp. It's an expensive trip, but it is worth it because you get to see things. You get to see like the fruit of ministry in those moments.
Now you mentioned sometimes y'all help people with rent. So does that also come through donations?
That comes through donations, and then I usually will call churches in town who I know are really good at helping with those things. But there have been times where I've had a girl say, hey, I'm staying in a motel and I don't have rent. And so she needed to get to a safe place. So I've run over there and paid for a hotel night before. But
Yeah. Well, I want to make sure people know how they can get involved, and I know prayer, is a really big thing. Well, is there any last thing that you want to make sure that we share about Young Lives? And I just appreciate the way you women pour into these young ladies, because I know it's probably a hard ministry that you don't always get to see the fruit, that you want to see. But I still think regardless, it's so important to keep pouring into them. And I appreciate y'all just constantly being vessels to do that.
it is a fun job. And it is a taxing job, but it is fun because you get to see sometimes the fruit. And sometimes you just have to think, okay, we're sowing seeds, God. And God will. I mean, he says in the Bible that you sow seeds and sometimes you won't see it, but it doesn't go void. And so that's a beautiful thing. But yeah, if somebody wanted to get involved, you can call me, you can email me. Can they find you on that? And you can send them my way?
Yes, they can. Yeah.
Okay.
And I can even, like, if you have a Young Lives email, I can maybe even tag it on to this so that they can connect with you.
Yeah, you can call or email. And I mean, I would love to have help. Any help is great help.
Can teenagers volunteer?
Teenagers volunteer. Yeah.
All right. I know that my girls have helped sometimes when y'all have been shorthanded with childcare,
fabulous.
but they had a blast. And so I just thought that's a really simple way, that my family can get involved, is help with childcare. And so we'd love to do that more.
Yeah, your girls were great. Just childcare. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, we need childcare money, prayer.
Well, and I'm sure, and I feel like in talking to Julie, different needs arise every week. One girl and her child have a need that's different this week, and then somebody different, has a different need the next week. And so I'm sure finances probably help the most with that, if you needed to quickly run and get supplies or,
or like, we got in a car accident. Now I can't use this car seat, but I don't have another $150 to pay for a car seat. Those things. Like the random money that you think most typical families probably could be like, well, that might stretch us a little bit, but we can make it work.
Yeah.
A 15-year-old without a job probably can't come up with an extra.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm just putting myself in that position. If that happened with one of my children, I mean, even our family would struggle, to make those ends meet. So I appreciate what you guys are doing so much, and thank you for your time and coming to share.
Well, thanks for having me.
It is such an incredible ministry, and I hope you guys
it's fun.
just know, that we love y'all and we appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all your support with your family and your church.
Well, we're glad to do it. Well, thank you guys for watching today and listening today to The Ordinary Brave. And I really hope that you will go to those links for Young Lives and support this ministry and just impact these teen parents that just really need that support and love. And most of all, to find the ultimate love, the unconditional love that comes from Jesus. And if you liked what you're hearing today, we hope that you'll continue to share the podcast with others. Have a great day.